Peace. So, preaching and teaching, right? Um, some people say what I do is preach. Some people say what I do is teach. I say what I do is teach. I don't preach. I'm gonna tell you why. When you think about the word preach and teach at times does have synonymous significance. And what I mean by that is that only under the makeup of religion, you know what I'm saying? Preaching is when you deliver a religious sermon or a religious address or a religious message, you know what I'm saying, to a group of assembled people inside of a church or so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? It's also basically in line with proclaiming or teaching a message, you know what I'm saying, only based from a religious perspective. So teaching and preaching from the religious perspective, they have the same synonymous meaning, but even inside of that same synonymous meaning, there is a difference and there's an opposite, because in church, what is the preacher preaching and what is the instruction that's being taught? You understand what I'm saying? And is it something that can be proven, you know what I'm saying, and validated, or is it something that is dealing more towards the science of dogma? You understand what I mean? And the in the way dogma works is that dogma is spiritual, not even spiritual, just beliefs that really can't be backed. What I call outrageous beliefs that can't be backed. So is the preacher just reinforcing in his so-called instruction the regular brainwashing techniques that's always instilled? And if so, that's indoctrination. You know what I'm saying? That's not even preaching. I guess it can be preaching. You know what I'm saying? But preaching and indoctrination, there's no teaching going on inside of that particular institution. So teaching to me is different. You know what I'm saying? Because teaching involves a particular form of instruction which can be validated, which can be proven in no amount of time. It can be proven with research. You know what I'm saying? It can be proven. It's not something that's based on feeling and emotion. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes preaching in that environment, you know what I'm saying, deals with a lot of emotionalism. You know what I mean? There is no answers. There are no solutions. It's just a lot of emotionalism. And somebody gets your emotions up, you know what I'm saying? You know, it doesn't allow one to get into the real aspects of what the information may be, because number one, in those types of institutions, you're not allowed to ask questions. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't even confront something if you heard something that felt uncomfortable to you. You know what I mean? That's not a teaching environment. You know what I'm saying? That environment, that type of environment is an indoctrination environment, an environment meant to just indoctrinate the person into having a belief system and furthering the belief system. And, you know, as we know and understand, a belief is absence of fact. You see what I mean? You can't prove a belief. So what must happen is that if you're going to have a belief, you must make that belief become an actual fact for your own self. You understand what I'm saying? And what that means is that you must test that belief. You understand what I'm saying? Put it through the litmus test. Do things to make that belief actually become real to you. If you feel that, you know, it's real, then make it a fact. Then it's no longer a belief if it becomes a fact. You see what I'm saying? So when we think about the science of teaching, we know and understand that teaching is something that gives a person actual facts. You understand that they can further their own studies and their own travels with. You know what I mean? Preaching just gives a person a good feeling or a bad feeling. Whatever it does, it just works on the feelings, because it's simply centered around a religious sermon or some type of religious address or message. You know what I'm saying? Always. That's what the word preaching is linked to. That word preach is linked to specifically religion. You understand? So when we hear the term preach, you know what I mean, we have to understand that a person may be preaching from the soapbox. You know what I'm saying? In other words, they may be saying a lot of things, but not saying nothing in this world over here. What I'm doing is the opposite. You know what I'm saying? I'm giving instruction. I'm a master student. You know what I'm saying? And a master student draws up the information and applies it and puts it to the test and makes sure that it's applicable, make sure that it's measured by valid and reliable sources. You understand what I'm saying? And make sure that it's a truth. And when they demonstrate it in such a manner that they can prove that it is a truth by sources, because see, truth never changes or pass away. So therefore, Teaching is a lot different. You know what I'm saying? Teaching has an outcome. Preaching is just a method to raise one's energy. You know what I'm saying? To raise one's emotions every Sunday. And when you come out of church, you just feeling good. You know, the sermon was great. And you hear it all the time. The preacher did good. I mean, he's called preacher. You know what I'm saying? Preacher, he's called a preacher. So what he does is he preaches. You understand what I'm saying? He doesn't teach from the pulpit. And there are those ministers who actually teach from the pulpit. You know what I'm saying? And they don't preach, they teach. And it's a difference. And a lot of times the congregation don't like teachers from the pulpit. They like preachers because preachers play on the emotions of the people. You understand what I'm saying? It plays on the emotions of the people in such a way where the people are controlled by the preacher, where the preacher has some sort of strength and power over his congregation. You understand what I mean? So there's a difference. I just want you to understand that. Teaching is a science. There's a science in being able to relay information and convey it, instruction to others. You know what I'm saying? To actually make them get and understand the instruction to the point where they can apply it to their own selves. You know what I'm saying? And make it work for them and pass on the instruction, not only through word, resource, but through actions. You see what I'm saying? Because see, some of the best teaching comes through the action of people. You know what I'm saying? In things. You know what I mean? Because all things teach us. Everything is a teacher. Everything has the ability, you know what I'm saying, for the human organism, for the human being who's amongst his environment, who's amongst nature and so on and so forth. Everything teaches us something. You know what I'm saying? Man should be learning each and every day from everything around him because see, when he learns from it, he begins to know more about his own self. When he learns from nature, when he learns from his environment. You see what I mean? Because man is his environment. And I'm not talking about the hood. I'm talking about the natural law, the natural environment, the fire, air, water, earth, the minerals, the natural environment, the cells. You know what I'm saying? The protons and the neutrons, the electrons. You understand? Electromagnetism and things of that nature. Man is the marvel of the universe. You understand what I mean? And that's real teaching. Because these teachings can save oneself. You know what I'm saying? And preaching doesn't even allow you to get to your own self because you're being distracted by some emotional type of rhetoric that doesn't allow man to meet his maker in the closest place that he can, which is inside, which is inner, because we have an inner verse. You know what I'm saying? The universe is just a secondary outward reflection of the inner verse that man already has within. You see what I mean? So, and that inner verse takes you into infinite realms. You go within to go into infinity. You go within to go to infinity, to go to infinity. You go within and you go behind the breath to get to Allah Ta'ala, the omnipotent. You are a portal to the infinite, period. You understand? Outside of yourself, you're wasting your energy. So with that being stated, just know and understand that teaching has a whole different vibration than preaching. You know what I'm saying? Teaching leads one into higher realms, while preaching just leaves you where you are. Peace.